Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Spider-Man Classics buff, and he's going up against Dragon Man today from Eternity of Pain. So there are a lot of nodes going on here. He goes unstoppable about 50% of the time. He goes unblockable every 6 seconds. He has true focus, so your evade won't help out if you get tagged. And if you parry, then you get an armor break on Dragon Man, and that makes you degenerate. So Spidey's ramp up is a little bit slower in this fight because you can't parry and then do 3 or 4 hit combos, which build up your taunts. Going into this fight, your game plan is going to be spamming SB1s. Each time you throw an SB1, it will build 2 webbing stacks, and as you build more webbing stacks, you get more of his utility. In this fight, the magic number is 4 stacks of webbing. That means that you can stack 2 of your decelerate debuffs, and that means that you can shut down Unstoppable completely. It will never trigger if Dragon Man has 4 or more stacks of webbing. The main worry, however, is webbing falls off faster the more a champion moves. So that's dashing, throwing attacks, throwing heavies, whatever, but it's also throwing specials, and we all know Dragon Man has a lot of hits in his specials. So each time he throws a special 1, his webbing's going to fall off. Each time he throws a special 2, his webbing's going to fall off as well. In general, his special 2 is better to push and do because, that's 2 bars of power rather than 1, and he moves a little bit less in that SB2, so when possible, try and push him to that SB2. So we're going to build up our webbing a lot by spamming a bunch of SB1s, making sure that there's a lot in the bank, so that however much he moves during the rest of the match, however many specials he throws, we're going to keep on top of the Unstoppable, making sure that we've got enough stacks of webbing, keeping those decelerates up. I find that usually 7 to 9 stacks of webbings is probably enough for the fight. In this one, we're not going to need that many, but I found it was better to go a little bit over because you're still in control of the fight rather than letting him get lower. If he does start to get quite low, if he throws a lot of special 1s, that's when you throw an extra special 1 yourself and you just keep on maintaining your stack of webbing. Another thing that you're going to want to watch out for is Dragon Man's unblockable charges. If he goes unblockable during a special, you're going to have to really look out for that and make sure that you're not going to be getting hit. His SB2 is worth learning how to dex. You have to dex a little earlier than the fire suggests, but it's definitely worth practicing and making sure you know how to do it. And make sure you keep an eye on his special 1 so that if he goes unblockable partway through, you can always dex out. Once you've got to a good level of webbing, then we're going to push to L2. We're going to get to about 2.9 bars of power, just below special 3, and then we're going to throw our special 2. The special 2 applies a stun, and during that stun, for however many taunt debuffs are on the opponent, their physical resistance is lowered, so that's your bigger damage window. You're going to keep on chipping him down outside of that, but that's where you're going to see the proper damage. Once you throw that special 2, that's where you can get a nice little loop going where you stun him, apply a ton of taunts, bait out the next special, and then go back, throw another L2 and stun him and repeat. That's a really good damage cycle for him. I have Science Power Back boosters on this fight, and I definitely suggest. We don't actually crit in any of the special 2s in this fight, but if you do, it just gets a little bit easier. And, he's still hitting 50k SB2s even without critting. But yeah, Spidey's a great option for this fight. He completely shuts down the Unstoppable, leaving you just to deal with the Unblockable. You can regen from willpower during the fight by blocking a special 1. Your taunts make Dragon Man way more likely to throw specials and gives him control over that aspect of the fight. And once you get into your damage loop, he's got some serious damage. I mean, once we got into our damage phase, we got about 570k health in just over a minute. So I made this video because a lot of people are doing Eternity of Pain, and I recently put out a Spidey Supreme video of him taking pretty much the whole left-hand side. One of the fights he actually struggled on, but still managed to solo, was Dragon Man. And while it's possible to use him, I would definitely suggest bringing another option. And this video is meant to be that other option. I think Spidey Classic is probably the best option for this Dragon Man fight. I did use Spidey 2099 myself, but I found it pretty tough to get going. Spidey Classic to me is a lot more reliable. But with all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope it was helpful, and I hope you take a second look at Spidey Classic. He's had a very good buff and I really enjoy him. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.